Okay, so this one comes with a graph, and I think it's pretty much a really bad habit of almost everybody that they look at a graph and it's like, oh, lovely, it's a bar chart, and forget this really important word here, that actually it's a histogram, it's not a bar chart. You can also tell that from looking at the graph, because this is frequency density. On a bar chart, it would just say frequency. So let's read the question itself. We've got a histogram showing the floor areas of offices, and we're asked first of all to calculate the number of offices that have a floor area greater than 75 metres squared. So we're going to have a look at the scale along the bottom of floor area, and we can see that everything above this line here has an area of above 75 metres squared. So we're going to need to work out what the frequency is of all of these. Now, if you remember back to your frequency work, you know that it's the area of each box, not the height of it, that gives you the frequency. So first of all, we can work out the area of this box here. It starts at 75 and it goes across to 100, so its width is 25. And we multiply that by its height, which is 4. So that's our first bit. Then for the next box, again, it's 25 wide, so we'll times that by the height of 6. So 25 times by 6 is 150. The next box across, also the same width, 25 times 7 this time, which is 175. But the final box is 50 wide and 2 tall, so it's going to be 50 times by 2, which is 100. If we total all of that up, that's 525 offices altogether. Remember that the total is always given you the frequency, it hasn't given you any other information, it's given you the frequency of offices above that amount. Part B then says that they charge a £200 arrangement fee for all offices up to 100 metres squared. So we're looking for less than 100 metres squared. They then said, assuming that all of the offices are let, how much will they receive in arrangement fees? So that's what we're looking for. So first of all, we're going to need to know how many offices there are under that size, and then we'll be able to multiply that amount by £200, 200 for each. So this time we're looking at under 100. So we're looking at a 100 line here, and we're looking at everything that side of it. So calculations wise, we'll start from the smallest box. So 75 wide by 1 tall. And that's of course is going to be 75. The next box is 25 wide, similar to the one we did before. And that's 100. So in total we've got 175 offices. If they're going to get £200 for each one, and it also says, as you remember, that all of the offices are let, so we're making that assumption. So it's going to do 175 times £200, and that should give us the total amount of money. In part C, we're asked to comment on the fact that it's reported that the median size, so median being the middle if we line them all up in numerical order, is 80 metres squared, and we've got to make a comment on that, whether we think it's reasonable, and we've got to justify our answer as well, because it says give a reason. So if we actually have a look here, we might want to know first of all how many there are in total, how many offices there are in total. So we've just worked out that up to 100 there are 175, so we could just add on the rest of them, so 25 times 6. And then the next box is 25 times 7. And the last box is 50 times by 2. Obviously you could use your calculations from the previous part to do this. And then we could add on the 175 that we've just found as well. So in total we're going to have 600 offices. So the middle offices are going to be around the 300th office. And now, just looking at what we found in this bit part B, we know that there are 175 offices in this region here. So the 300th office must be somewhere in sort of this region over here. Knowing that it's going to be bigger than 100 metres squared then, we know that it's definitely not going to be 80 metres squared. So we can just put a little sentence to sort of explain that at the end. We could say something along the lines of the 175th office is 100 metres squared, therefore the middle, the 300th, cannot be 80 metres squared. We can sort of see that by eye as well. Just by looking at this, we can see that the majority are sort of within this region here, so that's definitely going to be more than 100 metres squared.